Good morning to all dear participants. Today we have come up with another very important session on Zoom for advanced online education. As we all are aware, there are several platforms and they are available, and we have chosen for going for Zoom online platform and how it is useful for education. Today, we all are aware that due to COVID-19, the situation in the education has become little difficult, and it is becoming difficult to contact our students, to contact teachers, and to continue our activities in the education forum. How Zoom could be helpful from at that front. I think today we have with us Shri Samir Raje, who is the General Manager and Head of India Zoom. He'll be guiding us. Along with him, Mr. Dharmaraj Senapati is there. And we have MUTA team, Mr. Mohantish, Dr. Suvarna Rawal, Dr. Ashar Siddiqui, Dr. Meenal Oak, Dr. Manpreet Kaur, Dr. Daibate sir, along with us. And I think Dr. Patil sir has also joined us. I welcome all of them, and I request Dr. Meenal Oak to introduce about IMCC.
Hi all, very good morning. I welcome all the participants registered from more than 20 states of India for this virtual international development program, which is Talk Out for the Librarians. I also welcome UAE participants, our LIS professionals from Bangladesh and also from the Pakistan. A hearty welcome to you all. As we all are aware, this program is been chalked out by considering the changing scenario due to the impact of COVID infection. And this impact we are witnessing not on our lives, but also on our working fields. So how to face all this situation? And the solution is online modes is the only solution for that. So the focus theme is application of the tools and techniques to face the current scenario as far as library science field is concerned, so that the services can rendered more effectively to our customers. So up till now, we started our journey from open access resource. We have also seen Moodle and its effective application in the knowledge information centers, how we can utilize them in the benefit of our customers that we have seen. So pulling the thread of tools again today, we are going to see the Zoom application and how it is closely related to education field and what benefits we will get not only from the librarian's perspective but also from the overall teaching education perspective. So again, I welcome all the teacher professionals who join this session specially for the Zoom education advanced learning. I welcome them all. This program is organized by MES IMCC, Maharashtra Education Society's Institute of Management and Career Courses in Pune and MUTA. As far as IMCC is concerned, it's a management institute running management thread programs, MBA and MCA, which are approved by AICTE, accredited by NBA. Currently, it is run under the umbrella of Maharashtra Education Society. MES is running more than 78 branches of education all over the Maharashtra state. And it is established by the great freedom fighter Vasudev Balwant Phadke. So this is all about the IMCC and MES. Apart from the conventional education, we also believe on the distance-based program. So we have IGNOU Study Center on the campus, as well as we run few autonomous programs basis on the need aspect of the customers. So with this introduction, I welcome all the professionals join for this session, and over to you, Dr. Rathole. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Meenal. I think today is a very auspicious day because it is a Savarkar Jayanti, also Vinayak Damodar Savarkar Jayanti. And I think happening this program at this day is also a very important feature to all of us. Now, I'll give some brief introduction about MUCTA and MUCTA's activities. MUCTA is Mumbai University and College Teachers Association. It is registered in 2008 and a registered organization. All of us work on a tagline, राष्ट्र के हित में शिक्षा, शिक्षा के हित में शिक्षक, शिक्षक के हित में समाज. This is the tagline on which we work. Our association is affiliated to ABRSM, that is Akhil Bharatiya Rashtriya Shaikshik Parishad, which is a central body, and we are affiliated to that body. To begin with, Dr. Shekhar Chandratre and Dr. Namdev Mange had started with this organization, and now it is under the able hands of Dr. Vaibhav Naravade, who is the current president, and myself, I am General Secretary of MUCTA. We have taken out a lot of activities for teachers community, starting from the teachers education cell, teachers grievance cell. We have got also publication scale where Dr. Manpreet Kaur and Dr. Meenakshi Madam, then a few others, they are also coordinating for that publication team. For this particular, under this particular lockdown, after COVID-19, our team members have immediately decided to start something new for the teachers fraternity. And on 4th of April, we have started with the webinar series under the title Dattopant Chengdi webinar series, whose birth centenary we all are celebrating. This particular events, we have conducted around 13 webinars under the banner of MUCTA, and our team has decided that rather than conducting the events only on MUCTA, we also should try to provide some assistance to the colleges, affiliated colleges, and the universities. Under that, we have conducted around 26 webinars up till now, and our team has taken a lot of efforts to connect the colleges and the universities to a large fraternity of the teachers. I am very proud and happy to announce that we have delegates from 107 universities around all over India and abroad, and around 18,000 participants who have come in for our different webinars. I think this is a great achievement for all of us, and we intend to do lot many programs further also for the benefit of the teachers. In one single program, not less than 3,000 teachers remain present at a time. That is again an additional star feature for all of us. Now, this is what is MUCTA all about. There are many more points to tell, but looking at the time, I'll stop here. And now I'll request Dr. Mohantish to introduce our guest speakers, resource persons today. Over to Dr. Mohantish.
Thank you, Dr. Subhash. Am I audible to you?
Yes,
Hello?
go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. It gives me an immense pleasure today to introduce two speakers, Mr. Samir Raje, General Manager and Head of India Zoom, and with him we have Dharmaraj Senapati, Sales, South India. Samir is a General Manager and Head of India, responsible for leading strategic initiatives, GTM, operations, sales, implementation, support and general management functions for Zoom in country. He is associated with the word of collaboration since inception in India, and having helped numerous customers and partners to overcome challenges around the SaaS-based collaborations technologies. Samir is sought after and considered to be one of the trusted and go-to person by industry veterans. Samir has been associated with companies like Cisco WebEx, IBM, and Microsoft during his career. He built and led high-profile teams specializing in winning large, complex transactions. He was last associated with West Unified Communications for close to 7 years as a Director Sales India, and for small medium customer business across Asia Pacific. Samir spearheaded the journey for West Cooperations cooperation in India, in country, to become the second largest ASP by winning some of the largest cloud collaboration deals and by winning numerous industry rewards. Known for forging extremely strong relationships across customers and partners, Samir joined Zoom in April 2019 to kickstart its operation. An engineer from MS University of Baroda by education, Samir is an avid runner, cyclist, and an automobile enthusiast. He spends his free time either working or riding motorbikes. I welcome Samir. Hello. Today we have with us another uh, resource person, Dharmaraj Senapati, sales specialist Zoom. Dharmaraj drive collaboration and customer experience for large and medium business for Zoom in South India, associated with the collaboration world for more than 8 years and instrumental in helping large enterprises, customers with complex business, IT, unified collaboration solutions, cloud solutions, SaaS solutions for better business outcome. Dharmaraj has been associated with companies like West Unified Communications, Times Group, ADAC, Aptec in his 14 years of career. An MBA from Biju Patnaik University by education, Dharmaraj has special interest for indoor games like badminton and carom. Loves to spend time with family and playing badminton during free time. With this small introduction, I welcome you both for this section. Thank you. Over to you, Subhash bhai.
Thank you, Dr. Mohantish. Now I request Shri Samir Rajesh sir to start with the session to enlighten us with all Zoom activities and Zoom for education, advanced learning. Over to Samir sir.
Thank you, Dr. Subhash and Dr. Mohantish. When I was reading that, when you were reading that, introduction, it was a little bit overpowering and overwhelming for me. But I'm really not that type of person. Let me tell you that. I love to keep my feet on the ground and deal with reality. And when the team MUTA reached out to us and told us all the great work that they are doing with this community of teachers and education professionals, uh, it just it just it was a bell ringing in my head and telling us that it is very similar to what we do. And I love the tagline which you mentioned. While I couldn't grasp the exact wordings given the length of the statement, but I could understand every word that he said. And I can assure you that it's very much linked to our goal, our motto. And I'm going to talk to you about that. So a little bit taking one step behind, what is Zoom? And there are a lot of information out there, a lot of I would say a lot of stuff happening on the WhatsApp University, if I may say that, and a lot of misinformation. So since, again, taking a looking behind, there was a team in WebEx. WebEx is a collaboration tool, and WebEx was founded by an Indian named Mr. Subra Iyer. He was the co-founder member. And under his leadership, there were a lot of people, including our CEO, our current CEO, Mr. Eric Esuan, and even myself. I was the regional sales manager for WebEx in India. And we got taken over by Cisco. We were a great team in WebEx. We had, the reason why we were a great team is because we cared about our customers. Everything we did day in and day out was about our customers. Then Cisco happened after 6 years of my being in WebEx. And when Cisco happened, we started seeing a lot of difference in ideologies. We started seeing that, it's no longer about the customers. It's more about, how the way the organization wants to deal, how the way the organization wants to do business. And that was quite unfortunate. And that's how the entire team spread out. A few years down the line, Eric Esuan decided to start his own company, and Zoom was born. This was around 10 years back, almost 9 to 10 years back. Since then, the company has been formed with a simple goal and that is to keep our customers happy, to ensure that we do what it takes to deliver happiness. And that's not just a tagline. I just received a mail from a CIO of a very large Indian firm. He said, "That's what I love about you guys, and this is what you do," and so on and so forth. Because that's what our culture is. We we help people, we interact with them, and that's what happened when MUTA called us, reached out to us. It was very similar to what we are doing. Uh, Coming to the current situation of COVID-19, when COVID-19 situation started off in China, we were the first ones. We sat back and our CEO said, okay, this means the education sector is going to take a hit. The world is getting into a lockdown. So the first thing that we did was we opened our platform for the schools and the education sectors across the world to start using our platform at no cost. And today we have over 100,000 schools using our platform at no cost in 20 plus different countries. And yes, it is available in India as well at no cost. This is available for K to 12 schools. They can use it, and it is for their benefit to ensure that children start using it, or children don't suffer during this time. That's the digital is the only way going ahead. We don't know when the lockdown is going to end. We don't know, even if lockdown ends, how is the life going to return to normalcy? What is the life after COVID-19 situation going to look like? So we started off with that, and with that we embarked on a journey, and we saw sudden rise in our usage in our platform. In the end of December 2019 and end of January 2020, we were around 100 million participants a day on our platform. That went to over 300 million participants a day in the month of April. Just imagine the growth from 100 million a day to 300 million a day. And that kind of journey for any organization to cover would have taken at least a couple of years. But we did that. And we did that. We ensured that there is no downtime. We ensured that our schools, our customers never suffered. We ensured that we give you the same frictionless service. We ensured that, we managed our capacity. We incurred huge costs for it. And obviously, when we did that and this growth happened, we stepped on a lot of toes. There are a lot of big companies out there, a lot of organizations who are, into this business for some time. But suddenly a rise of a small company to such an extent was not acceptable to a lot of other people. And that's where the misinformation started. That's where a lot of miscommunication started. Well, that was not only miscommunication, but yes, and we are honest enough, and we are a company, as I said, when we say we care and we want to deliver happiness to our customers, we are honest enough in saying that we did some mistakes as well. Any company does a mistake. Any company will do a mistake. Any human will do a mistake. When you go from 100 million participants a day to 300 million participants a day, mistakes happen. But we reacted and fixed those issues in the shortest possible time. We took those steps. To summarize, and to rub it in again, Eric S. Yuan, he has been an American national for the last 2 decades, but there is a misinformation that we are a Chinese company and so on and so forth. No, we are not. We are an American-born American company, founded by an American. We are listed on the NASDAQ. We trade, our shares trade under the ticker name ZM. We are a 40 plus billion. We are close to about $45 billion organization. We are listed in US. We follow the GDPR policies of Europe, and we follow the policies of any country that we operate in. So please do not go for the misinformation out there. Our information is readily available in the public domain, and as a public listed, public limited company, we file our details in the public domain, which is a requirement of NASDAQ and the requirements of the US government. We are also in touch. I am personally speaking to the Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and we comply with the Indian rules and regulations. There is no rule that we are not any breaking. So please be sure, be assured, there's a lot of misinformation. And if you have any query, me and my team will always be on standby. So when Zoom was formed, when I said around 9 years back, we embarked on a journey to ensure that we take away all the clutter. When you click on a meeting, you can get into the meeting and you get a seamless voice, you get seamless video, and it's so simple to use. Along with it came all the detailed features, functionalities about making it secure, and the dashboards for IT or your administrators, or like at school level, if you want to administer the accounts, etc., a lot of other things. So there are lots and lots and tons of features making it, secure and usable, and so on and so forth. And we are going to talk to you about a little bit about that. Dharmraj is going to definitely walk you through that. So all I'm trying to say is your data, your children are absolutely secure. They are in safe hands on this platform. Zoom platform has never been hacked till date. There is no information out there which is shared by Zoom. We do not share your credentials with anybody. We do not monetize out of it. The only way we get our money is through subscription of our licenses. We do not sell your data. Like have you been to that when you actually think about buying something, your Facebook and your rest of the apps start throwing it automatically? We don't do that. You know who does that, right? So we don't do that. Our functionalities is different. Our privacy security policies are out there in the domain, publicly listed domain on our website. And there are a lot of misinformation, like Zoom is not encrypted. Well, banks are using it. The bank CIOs were not crazy enough to sign on the contract if the data was not encrypted or our meetings were not encrypted. If it was as simple as somebody picking up the phone and joining the Zoom meeting and understanding the information, well, they wouldn't have used it. They wouldn't have approved our services. Zoom meetings have always been encrypted. What you need to understand is that Zoom is just not an app-to-app calling. It is much more than that. And Dharmraj will walk you through that. Dharmraj, if you can bring up the slides, please. I'll hand it over to you in a few moments. But we are a collaboration platform. And what I mean by that is we have to allow different platforms, different ways of communication to come into our platform. That is video conferencing, audio conferencing, audio lines, PSTN, and so on and so forth. We got a whole lot of different services. And on the right side, what you see is the meeting portion, which is the blue circle. Dharmraj, can you go back to the previous slide, please? Yeah, thank you. So about the meeting, audio, as well as chat and video webinars, what we are currently doing. So this is the right piece. This is only, only the meetings tab, but there is a whole lot of functions beyond that. On the left-hand side, you see the orange section, which is, we call it as the real estate section, where your managing directors or principals could be in a video conferencing room or at their home in a large, using a large device like what is there behind Dharmraj. And your students could be at home joining via iPads or laptops and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of things. These are all corporate related plus education related features out there. And the bottommost is the API integration and SDKs, which apps, and there are a lot of apps available readily in the market, which allow you to integrate into your LMS, learning management systems, and directly feed data into that. So Zoom is just not a video calling app. There is a whole lot of services around that. And as a result, we have to allow various formats of communication to come into our platform. And that's where encryption changes. So I've spoken enough, but I just want to sign off on stating it one more time and making it clear that Zoom is absolutely safe. Till date, there has been no issue. Till date, we have been providing all the features and functionalities. And these are probably better than any platform that you can get in the market. Point number one. Point number two, my humble request to all you people in the education sector is please be cautious when you use any platform, not only Zoom, in the virtual world. And I have a question for all of you. I mean, when a student has to go outside your class, what do you do? Or when they have to enter your classroom, what do you do? They need your permission, right? The same thing needs to be available in the virtual classroom. Please make sure you are sitting in a public domain on the internet. While there is a lot of safety features and security, but you need to understand that in the COVID-19 situation, Students have been sitting at home and there is a lot of wasted energy with them. They are playing pranks. And not only that, but the cybercrime has gone up by 600%. Yes, a whopping 600% in the world during this COVID-19 situation. So every individual out there is unsecure, is unsafe, whether you're using net banking, whether you're using a simple app as Facebook, or whether you're using Google, you are unsecure. You need to be extremely cautious. So please, when you're setting up your classrooms, what you would not do in your physical life, please do not do it in the virtual life. For example, when you're setting up a meeting, please be sure to set up a password for your classroom. Please allow the waiting rooms. You don't allow your students to go out and come into the classroom, even in physical rooms, right? Why are you doing it in the virtual rooms? Similarly, be sure that you don't allow them to share whiteboarding or share the cameras or allow them to chat internally. You don't allow them to talk to each other, right, in the classroom. I remember when I was a naughty kid in the class, right? When I used to talk, in those days, we used to get a duster thrown at us, right? A duster or a chalk or whatever, or it used to be a wooden scale coming at us, right? Those were the days. But if that's the case, why are you allowing them to chat on the virtual platform? What you don't do on the physical class, do not do it on the virtual classroom. And how to do it, what are the best practices, that's what Dharmraj is going to do. So my simple uh, tip to you is that please try to imagine your physical classroom and then try to replicate the same thing in the virtual mode. Try to set passwords, try to enable waiting rooms, try to ensure that you disable the chat functions for all. They can chat only with you, and so on and so forth. And all these features are available readily with us, and we will walk you through that. Over to you, Dhamraj. And once again, I would like to reiterate that especially for the teacher community and the people in education sector, me and my team are on standby. Do not hesitate to reach us in any possible manner. We will be glad to help you out in every possible way. Thank you. Over to you, Dhamraj.
Uh, Thank you, Samir. Thanks for that detailed brief. And thanks, Mukta team, for giving us an opportunity to take you through Zoom as a platform and how secure it is, and what are the different features that we have, which can address the different challenges the education community faces today while delivering their online classes. So we'll start with different use cases, which is being where Zoom can be best help for delivering your online lecture to different scenarios that we'll talk about education industry. So Zoom for education. So there are different areas where Zoom can help as a platform. So if you look at from a university perspective, there are different areas, right? So you have teaching and learning, which is one of the key areas wherein you have a lot of collaboration required. And you also need to share a lot of data with each other. It could be between the students, or it could be between the lectures, or it could be from the lecture to the students, for that matter. So we have a content share features which helps you collaborate. So you could share your screen. It could be your single applications, or it could be your presentations, files, or for example, your desktop. So you could completely do that on the using the sharing capability. We also have a record feature wherein you could record your sessions, wherein if somebody has missed the event or missed the class, he can refer it. So you could simply, so there are two kinds of recording available. You could simply record it on your laptop, or you could also do it on cloud and share a recording link to the student who has missed the class. So for already reference, right? So that they cover the class in the later part. So third is the breakout sessions, wherein so this is mostly to engage the students from a learning perspective. So you could break them into different groups and give them assignments. They can use so they could use the platform to discuss and come back and present. So that's breakout room for you. So these are the different component of teaching and learning. So you also have a virtual class wherein you conduct online classes. It could be a online course. So today, for example, there are quite a few universities and colleges, because of the COVID situations, have gone online, and they have designed courses which is run completely online. So you just have to register for the courses, and the class will be delivered on the platform like Zoom, right? So we help big time to various education on that, education university on that.
the second component is the online hybrid classes. So see, if you are running a course, or if you're conducting an online class, so there are situations wherein you have a physical audience as well as remote audience, right? How do you how do you connect with the remote audience? So we on the Zoom platform, that is possible, right? So you could address the class online on physically. At the same time, same class can be broadcasted to the remote audience. Student to student collaboration is also key while you have a virtual learning. So Zoom has a facility wherein students can collaborate on the platform. Student engagement, this is also very important quotient of online learning, wherein there are different areas. For example, study groups or a team project. So you assign a lot of projects to your students, right? So that's where they need to collaborate with each other and work on a particular topic and present. So that say, consider the situation wherein students are located in different geography, and every time traveling to a particular location is not possible. So a platform like Zoom would help them in achieving that goal and running those things. Also, constant career counseling is something which is very much required for our students to consider what is the next step that they're going to do in their career, right? So faculty member can constantly connect with the students on the platform and do the career counseling program, irrespective of the timings and the geographical boundaries, or the office hours for that matter. So there is also a professional development required from a university to run. For example, there are professor groups wherein they wanted to interact, or they wanted to interact with the other experts or faculty members of other universities. So how do you do that? So say for example, you are collaborating with a foreign university. You can't do it every time visiting the university, right? So you could simply use the platform to collaborate. So it could be a meeting, or it could be a chat, or it could be a constant engagement on the platform. So that is possible on the platform. So staff training and train the trainer program can also be conducted on the platform. Many times, wherein a university would be affiliated to a lot of institutions, right? So, and the university takes the responsibility of training those teachers who are affiliated to their university. That can be done on the platform like Zoom, which helps them save a lot of time. At the same time, the learning is much better, and it's from the comfort of their desk. They could simply launch the training programs. University communication. So from a university, as a university, there are a lot of communication which goes out to either it is staff members, or it could be situations where they have to recruit. Like so they have to take a lot of interviews. For example, the placement cell. So that is a classic use case wherein after this COVID situation happens, a lot of universities have started inviting the companies and taking interviews online, right? So, I mean, I understand that you can't completely judge a person online, but yes, so you could do the screening portion of it. So there are multiple options and that is available wherein you can screen a candidate on the online platform. And the best part is Zoom is a platform which will give you a immersive video experience. What I mean by that is you can actually read the body language of the participant who is joining in your meeting. So that helps you in terms of judging the person from an interview perspective and doing those screening sessions on the platform. Collaboration with institutions which we have already covered. A lot of universities will have a collaboration that is required for running a research work or running a seminar. There are a lot of instances wherein they'll have to collaborate with other people outside the universities. How do you do that? So you could simply use the platform to collaborate and make the education world better. So that's pretty much about different use cases. So these are some of the use cases which comes out of the education in brief, which we have briefly covered, like hybrid classes, guest lectures, study groups and team projects and research and admissions, career counseling and administrative staff meetings and interactive distance learning. So these are some of the key use cases. There are a lot of universities use Zoom for. And now, so what we'll do is we'll move on to what all features that we have as a platform for our education as a community. right? So any institutions or organizations or a university to run a virtual class or virtual engagement, there are a lot of features which is required so that they can collaborate better. Starting with the simple feature of screen sharing, so which is a basic feature wherein you can share your screen or a application or a or a file or presentation for that matter. So, and while sharing the screen, you could also use the annotation feature. So, for example, I'm currently using this annotation feature to demonstrate which point that I'm talking about, right? So this can be utilized by the faculty members, wherein when they're using the platform to running their online classes, or any meeting that they're conducting for that matter, whether it is with students or the staff members or the faculty members. So that's annotation feature for you, wherein you could also annotate on the presentation or the screen being shared, and you could express your kind of views about it, right? So that's annotation feature, and you also have a remote control feature wherein you could take the remote access of a device. So which is again you could restrict to only host, or you could also give up access to the participant. That control can be managed by the host. Whiteboarding is again one of the best feature that is utilized in education world. uh, Sorry for that. So whiteboarding. So when we talk about whiteboarding, the idea is to so first thing comes to your mind would be, okay, so whiteboarding, whether it is something like a blackboard, yes, it is pretty much same as a blackboard. So how you do it on a physical class, you whenever you are talking about something, you go and write on a blackboard, right? Wherein the students can see that. Same thing has been replicated in the virtual world, wherein we have an option wherein I can launch a whiteboard and show you how it works. So let me show you how the whiteboard works. I'm going to launch a whiteboard and kind of draw a couple of lines and stuff so that you will be able to understand how it works. So this is the whiteboard that I've launched. For example, I have to draw a line or draw a diagram. I have an option to do that, right? So I can explain about a topic. If I wanted to kind of enter some text, I could also do that. Say for example, education. Okay. Or say for example, I also wanted to kind of run a diagram or something. I could also do that. So you could put a square, or you could draw a circle. See, the idea is to kind of explain your topic that you're talking about, right? So
So,
the
if I may,
whiteboard.
Dharmaraj,
Sure.
so to all the teachers out there, I mean, we understand the concern and challenge that you have. Oh, my students are remote, and I'm teaching them on a computer, and what do we do? Well, if you have an a touch screen and a mouse pad, you're good for life. You can just straight away start writing on the screen if you have an iPad, or even if you're doing it from your mobile phone. Straight away write on the screen as you would do on your blackboard or the writing board in your classroom. It's exact replica of that. And for students it will appear as what Dhanraj has shown. So it is just a replication of what you're doing in the classroom. This one of these feature, this one is loved by all the teachers across the globe.
Thank you, Samir, for pitching in. Yeah. So so that's the whiteboarding feature for you. So you can do a lot of things on the whiteboard, starting from drawing different diagram, or you explaining your topic, or you could do a lot of stuff. And you also have an option to re-raise it. Same thing that you have as a blackboard option, you have it on the whiteboarding option on the Zoom platform. Great. So I'll just stop my screen. I'll just go back to the presentation. Okay, great. So next feature is polling, which is a great feature wherein when you were running a class and you wanted to interact with your students and they are remotely present. In that case, what you do? So you could also kind of create a set of questionnaires which is relevant to your topic, or if you wanted to kind of take a feedback about your class, you could design those questions. You could also give them an option of multiple choice or a yes or no question and stuff like that based on your requirement. And you could keep that polling ready before the session starts and launch it during your session. And the moment the student starts answering them, okay, so you will immediately get a response and the system will automatically calculate the responses, and it will give you a percentage result, how many people have answered yes, no, whatever options that you have given. And you have an option to present it live during your class. You don't have to go back and do the calculation and do all of that. So the system will do everything for you. You just have to kind of click and present it on the live, right? That's polling for you. uh, Local recording and cloud recording. So recording is also one of the important feature wherein you could record your class, and the same class can be deliver kind of so you could share it with your students if somebody has missed the class, or if student wanted to do a revision, or they wanted to refer the classes that has happened in the past. The video breakout session. So the rest of the feature we will talk in the coming slide. So I'll just move. Uh, Video breakout session. So this is a very important feature. A lot of kind of trainers or teachers loves this feature. Wherein, say for example, you have 100 students in your class. Okay, so you can break the class into multiple groups. The system will do it for you. Do have an automatic way of doing it, or you could also manually do it. If you wanted to put some people in a certain group, you could do it. For example, you considered as automatic breakout rooms, and you have used this feature. So the moment you use this feature, all these 100 students, say for example you wanted to divide it into 5 different virtual breakout rooms, so all these 100 people will be segregated 20 each in different breakout sessions. So you are basically creating a virtual room within your meeting, wherein there are different groups of people are there in the different virtual session. And as a host, I can walk into any of the sessions and kind of connect with them, and if they have any query, or answer them and stuff like that.
So if I
This
may,
is a
Dharmaraj, again here. So again, this is where you give group assignments, different group assignments. So you've created 5, as in Dharmaraj's example, you've created 5 groups. You divided 100 students into 20 groups of 20 each, and then you give them independent assignments. And then you want to, let's say, compare group A against group B and evaluate them or something like that, right? So you give them an independent assignment, and you as a teacher, as a trainer, you can actually walk into any of these virtual rooms that you want. So one classroom gets divided into sub classrooms, small ones, small groups, and each one of them can have a separate assignment or a separate questionnaire going on, and you can evaluate them as per your requirement. What do you think, Raj?
Thank you, Samir. Okay, so moving on to the next topic. So any university or any colleges would also would be heavily dependent on an LMS platform, right? So something like Moodle's, Blackboard, these are the known LMS platform which is being utilized by not only in India, globally by some of the global universities and colleges. So now, so LMS is a platform which is a learning management platform wherein there are different quotient to it, wherein learning application like Zoom. So we integrate with all of these platforms. So the benefit of this integration is the faculty members will have one application from where he can control the entire scenario of his entire learning and classes and the scheduling of classes and stuff like that. And with the integration of Zoom, you could directly schedule your sessions from the LMS platform, and you could also launch the Zoom application or your class directly from the application. So this will help in terms of giving you a lot of information. So for example, how many people have attended the class and stuff like that. So those information is already being captured on your LMS platform. And with the Zoom integration, it will you will be easily kind of launching your online classes directly from a comfort of your LMS platform, and kind of and running it better on the platform. So these are some of the known LMS platforms which are currently integrated with Zoom. There are other LMS platform which wanted to integrate with Zoom. That is also possible. We have our APIs and SDKs are open. So if you wanted to work out an integration, that is also possible. So you have to do the development work. We also have a dedicated developer forum which assists you in terms of developing these integration and running it on your LMS platform. Moving on, the another feature that we have is an SSO, which is a single sign-on feature. This is a more secured way of kind of logging into the platform. So for example, consider that you have 500 employees in your organizations, and everybody has got login ID and password to their systems, right, which has been given by the IT team. So what SSO does is it utilizes the same login ID and password of your system, and you don't have to have multiple password for Zoom separately, for your kind of your email ID separately and your system separately. You could have one single ID and login ID and password. Same thing can be utilized for applications like Zoom as well, right? So that's, I would not talk much about the SSO platform. So this is how the SSO works, and you have a safe and secure way of logging into the Zoom environment. Okay, so this brings me to the topic of how you can run the class securely. After this COVID situation happens, as Samir has briefed, there are tons and thousands of colleges has gone online, right? And the schools have gone online, and they are delivering online classes. So when we're running it on an online collaboration platform, so there are also a lot of features which Zoom offers to make your classroom more secure. Since it's a collaboration platform, so you'll have to definitely follow these rules to make your classroom more secure, so that you can do it, run your class without any interruptions. So let's talk about what are the different features which will make your classroom secure, right? So we talk about password protecting your meeting. So at Zoom, all the meetings has to be password protected. That has been mandated by default. So you'll have to have a password. The moment you schedule a meeting, it will come with a password, right? You should always use a dynamic meeting creation features. So in Zoom, we have two different kind of set of options, wherein you have a personal meeting ID, which is like your personal cabin. Okay, and then you have a dynamic meeting ID which gets created every time you schedule a new meeting, right? We would strongly recommend you use the dynamic meeting ID creation process when you're scheduling your meeting. There is a settings available wherein you could directly kind of enable that, and every time you create a meeting, by default there is a new meeting ID comes into picture, which can be sent to the participant, right, along with a new password. So you have a waiting room option wherein you could validate the participant when they join the meeting and allow them into your class. So instead of keeping it open, anybody can just walk in, have the waiting room enabled so that you could validate whether the person is the right person to attend the class or not, and then allow it. Something
So
like,
Dharmraj, just a second on that one. Again, so going back to, again, my days, I used to go and visit my friends in other schools always when I was a student. So a lot of these issues, what we call it as bombing, are we found that more than 98% of the cases are cases where students don't want to attend the online classes or want to play some pranks, and they forward the meeting details and passwords to somebody else, to their friends, and saying that, hey, you also join the meeting, and let's have some fun. So we found that, and that's very disturbing. That's the reason where this waiting room feature comes into picture, because if somebody gets hold of your meeting ID and password, and in many cases students have gone ahead and posted on social media stating that, this is my meeting ID and password, why don't you join it? It's really dangerous. You need to be extremely cautious that you don't give them, you keep that in a contained environment. You ensure that the meeting ID and password is not shared publicly, and also beyond that have the waiting room enabled, and a couple of other features. It's extremely important because we found that students themselves share this with their friends of other schools, other classes, requesting them to join the meeting so that they can play pranks in the class. Well, students are students, but we have to be cautious and play the smartian here.
thank you, Samir. Yes. So the other features that we have is host to be present in the meeting. So this feature will allow to start the class only when there's a faculty member who is physical, or the host is present in the class, right?
So Dharmraj is saying don't give a free period.
Yeah. So basically that, so you can restrict all of that using the settings features that we have. So expel a participant all from the class, right? So you have an option or an authority to, so same thing, consider a physical classroom scenario. Say if a student is doing a mischief, what the faculty does, he asks him to go out of the class, right? The same thing has been replicated on the web world. So you have the authority to take him out of the class and he'll not be able to join in again, right? So you have that option. So if somebody is creating nuisance, you have an option to throw him out. Locking your meeting. So you always have an option wherein, once everybody joins your online class, you could simply click on the lock meeting and lock your classroom. So even if somebody has the invite, he will not be able to join once you lock the room. So that will be a more secure option, so which you should exercise when you're running your classrooms or when you're running your online class. Enable or disable a participant to record. So this is a feature wherein we have both the options, wherein the participant. But the main authority of giving the recording option to the participant is with the host. So if, say, for example, I wanted to record the classroom that I'm running online and wanted to share it with the participant, I can do that. But say, for example, consider a scenario wherein you also wanted to give participant an access to recording. That is also possible on the platform. So you can use this feature basis on your requirement, whether you allow the participant to record or disable that feature for them. Domain authentication, this is a great feature wherein it will make your classroom more secure. A lot of universities, colleges today has got like thousands of students who are joining online classes. So what over a period of time, what we have seen is a lot of these colleges has started giving their domain specific email IDs to the students who has to log into the Zoom platform and register themselves before they join the class. So we on the Zoom platform, we have a feature wherein only authenticated users can join your meeting. So what I mean by that is, say, for example, consider the college name is ABC. Okay, so they have their website called abc.com. Okay, so just imagine, so they have about, say, 1,000 students. Okay, wherein all these 1,000 students join the online classes. So they can give them a email ID in the name of, say, like, for example, Abhishek is the student name, Abhishek Mohan @abc.com. So that is called domain specific email IDs, right? So they can roll out the email IDs for all the students. They have to register into the Zoom platform and they can join the platform. This is a more secured way of joining the online class from a student perspective, because in this case, what happens is, if, say, for example, I share the invite with one of my friend who is not from this college, he's from a different college, right? He has got a Gmail or a Yahoo ID. He tries to join in to the platform with the same login credential. He will not be able to join because the domain lock will restrict him from joining the class. So this will be helpful wherein in a long run, in terms of securing your classes and make it more secure when you're running those online classes, right? So you restrict the unwanted participant to join your meeting. So that's how it works. Okay, so this brings me to what are the controls that you have while you're running your classes, right? So all those features, functionalities which we have just spoken about, that is all available. So you could simply go to the setting portal and you can set it directly from your login, host login that you have. We have something called advanced setting. You could log in and enable those settings and use it. Coming to the what are the in-meeting controls that you have. So so when you, as a host, when you initiate the meeting, so you have a security button which is handy. So there's a picture shown here. So you have this security button wherein you can simply enable a waiting room, or you could simply kind of lock your meeting, or you could also there are other features that are available wherein it will restrict participants to do any kind of nuisance. For example, the moment you enable a waiting room, only authorized people will be able to join, and the host has the authority to get them in. Lock your meeting. The moment you lock your meeting, none of the other participants, once you have all the participants in the meeting, anybody who has got the invite, still he'll not be able to join, because the meeting is locked. It's considered as a meeting going on, and you have locked it from inside, right? Turn off annotation. So annotation is a great feature, but many a times what happens is, if you give the annotation feature to students, they start they try to act smart and try to disturb the class, right? So when the faculty member is presenting on a particular topic and sharing a screen, they try to annotate and write something on the blackboard, which is not required, right? So that's where you can stop the annotation feature for the students directly on this security button, right? So you have a simple button, stop the annotation feature. Only the host can annotate for the entire class, right? So you also have option for chart. So chart is great, wherein so you could have so the students can chat directly with the faculty members on the platform, and also chat along. So there is also mutual chat options available. So what happens is, if you give them an option to start chat, so they start chatting on a different tangent, or with each other, and pay less attention to the faculty, right? So you could disable the chat function, so only they can chat directly with the faculty member, not among each other. So put participant on hold. So if, say, for example, somebody trying to create a disturbance during your online class, you could simply, the moment he start talking or try to get some sound or background noise or something, so you could simply identify the participant. Zoom will automatically highlight that participant. You could go to the participant panel and put that participant on hold so that he can't create more nuisance. If and you also have an option to expel him from the meeting. And at a single click, you could also group mute all the participant, and you could also force mute them. So for example, say for example, you are going on a lecture mode and you wanted to ask them question at the end of the session. So you could just mute all their lines, only your line will be unmuted, and you can put a force mute apply, and that will, even if they wanted to mute their lines and talk, they will not be able to talk. They could use the chat panel for that matter. And when you're running a Q&A session, so you could unmute their lines and individually or with the group and talk to them. So likewise, you could also restrict the file transfer options. You could also control the recording. So as a host, you have a better control. So you can record the entire class on your laptop or onto the Zoom cloud and access it after the class and share the same recording with your students for future references. So do not allow participants to rename their ID. This is a quite interesting feature. What happens is, when you schedule a class, okay, so there is also a registration option available wherein student has to register and then attend the class. So registration option is available. Basically, how do you kind of take the attendance on a virtual classroom? So registration will help you doing that. So registration will take all those students who have attended the session. So it will ask them to put their first name, last name, email ID to attend the class. Okay, and you could download the registration report as an attendance report at the later part, and for your reference. And in terms of I'm talking about the renaming the ID. So while registering, they put, say, their actual name, and after they join the class, what they do is, some of the students, they try to kind of act funny and like try to change their name. Somebody has tried changing their name as coronavirus just to scare people. So that can be restricted. So if you have a simple option, so you stop, you restrict participants to change their ID once they move into the session, they will not be able to change it till this time the session ends, right? So that way you could protect your class better. You also have an option to report a user. So if you find some suspicious user joining your class and trying to do something which is not kind of normal, so you could also report a user so that Zoom will take necessary actions on the user in terms of blocking the user from the platform, right? So that option will also be available for all the faculty members and the host who is conducting the online class. Okay, so just to summarize, what are the key best practices that you should have when you're running your classes? So first thing is, you should always have a password. Okay, you should always keep a registration open so that you could pick. So this will help you in terms of only registered student to join your class. And the second option is you will also be able to collect the attendance. Third is a waiting room enabled, so you could always enable a waiting room so that you could validate the student before they join the class. Disable screen sharing, so you could stop the screen sharing option for the students until unless it is required or for them to present. You could give them an option to kind of present or share screen. Otherwise, no need. So you could disable it for the participant. Disable private chat. This we have covered, so you should always also use that. Manage participants, so you have all the tools to manage your classroom well. So you have mute, unmute option, or expel a participant if somebody is creating nuisance. You could manage it better. Lock your meeting. So always, once you have all your participants joining your class, you should always lock it so that there's no interruption in between. So that's pretty much about the best practices, what we would recommend. Okay, so Zoom is a secure platform. So it's not we're just saying it just for the sake of it, but we are also certified by some of the global security firms who has done audit on the Zoom platform. Uh, we are currently certified with the norms like SOC2, FedRAMP, GDPR. These are some of the compliances which has to be followed in different countries. So globally, these are the known compliance norms, which is, when it comes to security and privacy, Zoom complies by it, and we also have a certification with these compliances, right? So Zoom is a secure platform, and you can make best use of it. So that's all about it. So moving on, so just to talk about some of the global education customers, there are a lot of global education universities who love Zoom and has implemented Zoom in their day-to-day course curriculum. So they run it on the Zoom platform. We talk about the University of Sydney, Santa Clara University. So these are all global universities. There are also, in Indian scenario, there are a lot of Indian institutes are also using it. Meet the reputed IIMs of the world or IITs of the world or some reputed universities are all on the Zoom platform today and conducting online classes. So that's pretty much about the how Zoom is being utilized. So we also have a resource for the education specific kind of users. So we have created a lot of content which I'll just show you. So I can share these links with the Mr. Dr. Athuvali, which can publish it on the YouTube channel. What are different secure way? So that there are top 10 frequently asked questions about the classroom scenario. So we have created a documented article on it, wherein everything, all the aspects has been covered. Let me show you that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. Okay, so this is the article that I'm talking about. So you have top 10 frequently asked questions. So it talks about should I use Zoom meeting for or Zoom webinar? So many a times there are different faculty has got this question: should I use the meeting platform or should I use the webinar platform? So we have clearly articulated what are the benefits of using meeting platform and what are the benefits of using webinar platform. Based on your use case, you could choose a platform to use it. Right. So we have also indicated what all features available with both the platform and how you can utilize that. So same way, like what are the best practices which we have just spoken about, it has been clearly articulated and it has been documented on our blog, and you could go through that. Something like how do you ensure your classroom is secure, which we have just spoken about, different key guidelines and the features and functionalities which you could use to make your classroom more secure. So likewise, we have documented all the different aspects of running a classroom or running an online class in a secured way. We have documented it here on our Zoom blog. So there are a lot of resources that are available, wherein not only the frequently asked questions, so you also have option to kind of option to go through our training portal, wherein you have a lot of video tutorials which are available. So these are some of the tutorials which we have created, which is readily available on our platform, and learn how to use the platform in a better way, right? So beyond this, these are all small videos which we have created for different options. All the features we have created a kind of features to make you kind of familiar with it. Not only this, you also have an option to join a live session. So we conduct regular live training sessions on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. So you could opt for those live sessions and register yourself to kind of join those live sessions and attend those. If you are not able to attend those live sessions, no need to worry. We also have a recorded session. You could simply click on the recording tab here, and it will run the recorded session. You could go through that. So with that, it's a wrap from me. That's pretty much about different aspects of education as a community, how they can use the Zoom platform securely. I wanted to cover that, and then pretty much delivered on that. So with that, I would now hand it over to Dr. Atwali.
Thank you, Mr. Samir and Dharmaraj, for giving elaborated view of Zoom and how it can be utilized in education. Several questions, the most important questions which are coming up on the YouTube, that about the security feature, that is one. I think Mr. Samir has elaborated on it, that how it's secured, and in your presentation also, I think Dharmaraj has given elaborated view of what is the security. But only thing is the admin, the host, should be very careful so that that can be managed while operating the entire system. One very important question from Pradnya Ghonge. Can you elaborate on the students in rural area, how it is beneficial to them? This is the question from Pradnya Ghonge. Please elaborate on students from rural areas, how it is beneficial for them.
Well, on that front, I think, yeah, I'll take it up. So again, on the student, we have worked with a lot of NGOs, especially where students in the rural area have been able to, join online classes. So how they do it in some of the cases that I have seen is today mobile device is quite common. Point number one. If not, a lot of these NGOs, they have their representatives going to the rural areas, especially in the remote areas where they don't have devices, etc. And with they will go with probably a smartphone, or they'll go with iPad or a Google Tab or something like that. And that's how they conduct classes where the teacher or the faculty back home in Mumbai or any other city can be training these students remotely. So you are able to cover a lot more ground compared to doing it physically. Point number one. And point number two, I mean, sky is the limit. Again, we just spoke about some of the virtual classroom scenarios, but you can think of umpteen number of usage today. The way Zoom is being used and virtual platforms are being used for coaching and training is simply humongous.
Yeah, also just wanted to add to Samir's point. See, the Zoom platform has been designed in a way wherein we are not bandwidth hungry. The Zoom works pretty much. It works in with a 3G or a 4G kind of network as well. In Indian scenario, so today there are a lot of schools and colleges are currently running online classes, and yes, you're very correct. The students join from remote locations, and using their smartphones, they are able to kind of attend to those online classes. Thanks to the platform, it is not bandwidth hungry. It works pretty fine, even if you have a 3G connection.
Thank you, Samir and Dharmaraj. There's one question from Dr. Savita Thakur. She is asking, sir, please guide for practical subjects, how it is possible to conduct practical subjects on Zoom.
Well, yeah, that's a fantastic question. I mean, practical subjects. I mean, the experiments that you would do in the laboratory, or again, in that the only thing I can think of like and there are a lot of videos around this, which is when you your students are not present in the same room, you can actually live telecast what you're doing. For example, if you're doing a chemistry experiment and mixing whatever in the beaker and using your apparatus and so on and so forth, that can be captured live on the camera and relayed or streamed to your students in the remote location. So that's one way. Similarly, your physics exercises which you are doing in the laboratories, in terms of right from whatever uh, experiments in the laboratory, or even in biology where you're showcasing some specimens or something like that. The best way to do it is capture live on the camera and stream it to the fraternity.
Thank you, sir. There is one question from Pradnya Gorge. What are the challenges faced in the education sector? Can you take backup of the recorded sessions?
Backup of the recorded sessions.
Yeah.
Is that the question?
That is what she's asking. Like, for example, can you see it again and again?
Yes, of course. So if the session is recorded, it can be recorded either on your own laptop, or it could be recorded on the Zoom cloud itself. You have both the options. So if it is recorded on the Zoom cloud, it is up to you how long you want that recording to remain on the Zoom cloud. You can keep it for 10 days, 15 days, 30 days, or forever, right? So any student can click on it. All you have to do is send that URL to them. They can just click on it and view it. If it is on your laptop, well, it's your choice how long you want to keep it. So there is really no restriction. Backup, of course, Zoom cloud data, when it is there, it has a backup procedure. And if it is on your laptop, then obviously you'll have to back your laptop up on that
one. Thank you, sir. There is one question from Ms. Bharati Lankeshwar from Akola. She is asking why limited seats are available during the meeting on Zoom app.
Well, I am not sure about your question about the number of seats being available on Zoom app. So there are two things. First and foremost, if you are using the freemium version, or the version which is free up to 40 minutes, you can have, if you have got more than 3 participants, the meeting will last for 40 minutes. If you have, if again continue to use it beyond 40, you will have to restart the meeting after a gap of 1 or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever. If you have up to 3 participants, you can continue the meeting as long as you want. Up to 40 minutes, you can have up to 100 participants logging into your meeting. There is no restriction on that. If you are on a paid version of Zoom, again, there are various models in that, but the basic and the most economical one, or the most basic package, will give you up to 100 participants, allow 100 participants to join in your meeting. Then if you want higher participation, then there are different licenses, different kind of subscriptions available for that. You can go up to 10,000 also. There is no issue.
Thank you, sir.
No, but I want to ask, sir, what will be the charges for this unlimited or your free or paid options? Can you just elaborate on this point so other can be very clear to understand?
Sure. So free is absolutely free. There is there are no charges on that.
Up to certain members.
Yeah. So if you are a school, if you are a K-12 school, you can register on our website for using our licenses at no cost, or basically removing that cap of 40 minutes. That's what we offer. Removal of that cap of 40 minutes. That can be done for your entire school. All the teachers can benefit out of it. So that's point number one. For a paid license, if you look at, we have a specific package for education sector, which are very heavily discounted model compared to what we offer to the corporate. So education pricing model is different. These prices are listed on our website. You can go ahead and subscribe to the licenses directly on the website, or reach our team and we would be happy to help you with that.
Thank you, sir.
There are several questions coming in regarding the Honorable Supreme Court's order. Can you just elaborate on, is there any such Supreme Court order or I think you have mentioned it in your session, but if you
Yeah.
could elaborate for the
Yes.
participants to understand.
Sure. I will walk into that. I think I missed on that. Again, what is the Supreme Court order? That is the question, right? So you need to understand, and there's nothing to worry about. There's somebody in somewhere in some part of the country who's just decided, based on the misinformation which is, hello, yeah,
Yes, sir. Continue, sir.
yeah. So based on the misinformation, whatever is available in the market, you know, they have gone ahead and filed a PIL in the Supreme Court stating that, you know, Zoom is not safe to use. Well, the point is, if you would have really tried to understand the facts, what I have been screaming in the media and telling everybody, that please do not fall for misinformation. Today, people in India, I mean everywhere in the world, fall for negative news, right? So they want to hear the negative news. Similarly, to this question as to what is the ruling on. So Supreme Court has not given any ruling. Supreme Court has just told the the government to look into the facts versus fiction. That is what has been told by Supreme Court. They have given MeitY, that is Ministry of Electronics and Electronics and Information Technology, 4 weeks time to respond in terms of what are the facts and fiction. Is really what is mentioned in the PIL is a fact, or is it not a fact? So that is what the Supreme Court notification is. It is not saying that it is a ban on Zoom, but the media mentioned it that way, and we obviously don't go into the details, and we take the negative. So again, the PIL which has been filed is filed on a lot of misinformation, doesn't have any legal standing, is not right in its sense. We are going to approach the Supreme Court and talk to them. We are also in touch with the ministry, as I mentioned before, to play. We were in touch with them even before. They have all the facts, they have all the details, and if that would have been the case, if Zoom would have been unsafe to use, they would have banned us a long time back. So this is not the case. The petition just says that, please look into this and let us know.
Dr. Meenal from our group wanted to ask one question. Dr. Meenal, please.
Hello, Mr. Samir Raje. Thank you very much for this elaborative presentation on Zoom. Actually, our question is related from the user point of view, that you already highlighted the security aspects and all that in your presentation very well. But even though what we heard is about the data hackers, mostly they are trying to hack the data while you are using Zoom, and many solutions we heard that frequently you have to change the passwords and all. So I would like from you to know that what is the factual situation and how to handle these security issues as far as Zoom is concerned as a customer's point of view. Thank you so much.
Well, again, a great question, Dr. Oak. I appreciate that. Again, is your data secure on Zoom? Has it been ever leaked? The answer to that is no. Your data has never been leaked. It has never been shared with anybody in any platform. Point number one. Point number two, there was an information that data of Zoom is available on the dark web. Okay. Now you need to understand, what does that mean? What it means is that if I am Samir and I am going to use my email address, which is Samir Raje, let's say Samir Raje123 at gmail.com, and my password is Samir123. I use the same username, same password on 10 different platforms.
Right.
And Samir123 is one of the most easiest password to hack.
Correct.
99% of the people keep password as their password. Yes, capital PASSWORD123. Please do not do that. The fact is, as I said, cybercrime is on the rise in the world. There are over 600% rise in cybercrime. Is Zoom platform compromised? No. What data is available outside? The data which has been received or hacked on some other platform and has the same credentials on Zoom platform, that is available outside. Zoom has never shared data. Our platform has never been hacked. So all we say is that, for God's sake, please, when you go out of your house, right, you have a lock. Your lock has a unique key. You don't post the pictures of those keys or take a print of that key and put it on social media or share the key with unknown people, right?
Right.
Please do the same thing on the virtual platform. Every platform, you don't have the same lock on all your houses, do you? Does the hotel where you stay, does it have the same access key to all the rooms? No. Each of the room has a separate key. That's what we are telling you. Please, for each of the platforms, have a different password. And it is a good practice to keep on changing your passwords every 30 days or 15 days or whatever you feel is comfortable, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. That's our advice. Yes, there is a misinformation available. Plus, please try to understand that what is the fact and what is not the fact. Media has published that our data is available on the dark web. No, it is not. It is a phishing attack happened on some other platform. You know, Yahoo was hacked, right? The credentials are available out there with everybody. Today, two other companies in India have been hacked. Their data is available on. If you have the same common password and username with Zoom on that platform, then your credentials are compromised. Yes. But if you have a separate user ID and password, nothing has happened to Zoom.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sir, one question had come up from Dr. Swati. She is asking, can we upload the information for our students on Zoom platform? Like, for example, some kind of notes, some kind of videos, or some kind of informative sessions. Such kind of thing can we upload on Zoom platform?
Dharmraj, you want to take that?
Yes. Sorry, Dr. Atwale, can you just repeat the question?
Yeah, the question is from Dr. Swati. Can we upload the information for student use on Zoom platform? That is maybe in the kind form of notes, in the form of videos, or in the form of some books or some links for the purpose of the students.
Okay. So you can't kind of load something into Zoom, okay, and keep it there. But what you could do, you could always say, for example, you're sharing something, or you have an option to kind of, while running the session, you have an option to share your files presentation on the screen. Also, you could also use the chat functionality and share files. That option is available. In terms of sharing the content or giving the content in the later for referrals. So whenever you're running a class or you're running a session, you could record the session and the cloud recording can be shared with the students for future references. That is possible.
So to
Okay,
answer
okay.
that question, you cannot upload your textbooks where they can be accessed, or other books or reference material where students can access it. And no, the Zoom
Yes,
doesn't do that.
yes.
Because that is data storage. We don't do that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think a lot of elaborative session and lot of misinterpretations, everything which was there, I think that has been cleared, and how it can be used safely for the education purpose. I think both of you have made a very good attempt and very good informative session it was. Now I would request Dr. Siddiqui to talk on the session that about the sessions and the sessions activities, etc.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible, sir? Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Am
Yes,
I
go ahead,
audible?
sir.
Yes, you're
sir, go
audible
ahead.
here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's my privilege to be among such accomplished individuals and be able to present my perspective before you all. My job is to summarize important points so that audience can best remember them. So let me begin by thanking Mr. Samir Raje and Mr. Dharmaraj Senapati for their informative and well-crafted presentation in this session. This session has been proactive in coming to grips with important changes taking place around the world during COVID-19, in which there is an increased use of technological platform and the academia having a different kind of relationship with technology. Through this session, we have gained a better understanding about the dissemination of knowledge and sharing our views and thoughts through the use of technology, which is a possible solution for the challenges that is faced by, which is faced in traditional and conventional way of teaching, learning, and evaluation. Coming to the first point of session, Mr. Samir shared with us about the birth and growth of Zoom. It is indeed incredible that Zoom has grown from 100 million to 300 million in a couple of months, which is usually taken by an industry to do in years. The contribution of Zoom during COVID-19 in academia for providing free educations to thousands, hundred thousands of schools is indeed noteworthy. During his talk, he very candidly accepted his mistakes also in this expansion process, and they have rectified it. Uh, Zoom is an American company, not a Chinese company, and he also mentioned about the various features of Zoom and the misconceptions about the Zoom. And the important thing and the takeaway from his talk is when we are setting up the virtual classroom using Zoom, it has to be done keeping in mind the limitations or the things which we observe during a physical classroom. In the second session, in the second part of the session, Mr. Dharmaraj talked about the different perspective of university and colleges with respect to teaching, learning, such as sharing screen, desktop, then record features, then platform for discussions as well. The Zoom platform can be used for conduct of courses and classes. And the important thing is it can be used physical as well as it can be used online. Then there are various options which he spoke about, students engagement option, where we can give projects, assignments, presentations, etc. for students from various geographical locations. And then there is an also option of interactive interaction, or you can say interactive groups, where we can have the collaboration with different universities and organizations. Then there is an important application of Zoom with respect to communication, intra-communication, intercommunications, such as during placement when we can have online screening possible through this platform. Then he also spoke in a very lucid way about the different education features, such as annotation features, whiteboard, then polling, then video breakout sessions, then how this is Zoom platform is integrated with other platforms, LMS platforms such as Moodle, Canvas, etc. And the feature of Zoom, because of this integration, that one platform can be used to control all these technologies which are available. And then he also introduced about the SSO integration. Then he talked about the very important thing with respect to Zoom, that is how do we secure the online classes, where he spoke about the password protection, then dynamic IDs, then host privileges, controls, waiting rooms, how to expel a participant, how to log, then enabling and disabling, etc., domain authentication, etc. So there are lots of controls with the host when he conduct the meeting. Then Zoom is a secured platform with the certifications from certifications from agencies, and it has many global customers. Indeed, with so many features, definitely it has in India. It has customers which are primary institutes of India, IIMs, IITs. These are the institutes which are using Zoom platform. Uh, Sir, I observed your excellent presentations and subsequent question answer sessions. And so I can conclude that the purpose of seminar has been achieved. And the goal of Zoom, that to keep the customer happy, is truly justified. Thank you. Back to Athore, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Siddiqui, for very elaborative and apt points which you have taken from the presentation, and you have put it forward. Thank you very much. Now, to conclude, I request Dr. Manpreet Kaur to present vote of thanks. Manpreet Kaur, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. In these unprecedented times, it is important that learning does not stop and our students do not suffer. Thus, it is a privilege to deliver the vote of thanks for this enlightening session. This was a comprehensive session on using Zoom and clarifying all misconceptions about its safety and security. Today's speaker, Mr. Samir Raje on Zoom for Advanced Online Education. Thank you, sir, for providing an insight into the precautions we need to follow being in the education sector. in order to really use the virtual classrooms as we would the physical classrooms. Mr. Dharamraj Senapati, thank you, sir, for elaborating on the features that would be best facilitate the teaching learning process, encouraging and interactive question answer session and answering doubts. I am thankful to Dr. Swarna Rawal Madam, founder member of MUTA, for their blessings and continuous guidance. My sincere thanks to Dr. Vaibhav Naravade, President MUTA, for creating such a great platform and enriching minds. My gratitude to General Secretary MUTA, Mr. Subhash Athavale sir, for tirelessly and actively working towards curating sessions like these and serving for betterment. I am also thankful to Dr. Dahi Bhate sir, Dr. Anil Kulkarni, Dr. Asrari Siddiqui sir, Dr. Mahantesh Ajgonde, Dr. Meenal Auk, Dr. Suresh Patil, Dr. Mitul Nasiruddin for sparing their time and always be with us. Last but not the least, my big thank to all participants for their keen interest in this. Thank you one and all.
Thank you very much, madam, for this vote of thanks. We'll stop the streaming and then we can have